Season. How in the world did this journey ever begin for you, the Shenango grad, that you ended up teaching in Freedom, which I just found out not too long ago, your brother taught there too. How do you end up in Rochester? Obviously 14 with your brother, and now all these years later. So when did it all begin for you? This incredible school.
Well, I was, 21 years old when Danny gave me the call. I got the head coaching job at Rochester back in 1986, and so I said, sure, I'll come with you. And so it all began at Rochester in 86, and of course, he went to 1999, and I took over in 2000. And then, in fact, I just graduated from college, so I had my education degree. And Danny happened to be teaching over at Freedom, so I got a teaching job at Freedom, and I ended up over there for 30 years and became the head coach of Rochester.
Let's talk about the family that is the Matsicks, and obviously Dan and his son Ryan and yourself. That trilogy, how much has it meant to you?
It's been great. It's been a great ride. 39 years. It's kind of hard to believe. Somebody would have told me I've been in Rochester for 39 years, I probably would have given $1 million.
Why do you think that I love this school district so much? I have a lot of family from Rochester. I lived in the district for a while. But there really is something special about this school.
It is. It's a great community. The people here are great. Administration, the district itself does a great job for the students, and so the sports programs they win, and so it's just good. It's just good people. I think that's the thing. You walk down the street, and people say hi. And so it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great journey.
So keys to success, obviously fortitude and gratitude for everybody, all the parents, the student athletes, the administration. But how is it, even through some serious injuries in which you've lost key players for multiple years, how does this team continue to win?
It's just a blueprint. The blueprint that we have set up, for a long time now, that the kids understand. They have tremendous respect for what we do. They buy in, and they're great kids. They want to work. They got a good work ethic, and so you start putting those things together, those ingredients, and your program starts to do well. So we've been fortunate enough to keep it up at a high level, and that's been really the great part about it.
You mentioned to me just moments ago, and I do want a picture of this. He was at a luncheon with coaches, really the cradle of coaches, people like Jim Render, Don Yanessa, Tom Nola, George Novak, Coach Churpecker, Thomas Jefferson. And you look at yourself in the mirror, do you realize that you're in that rarefied air, and you see these young coaches coming up and just starting out, but you've been at this a long time, and you have been with some really great coaches along the way in the WPIL.
When I was up there, I was kind of like, what am I doing here? I don't think I belong here. These guys belong here, not me. So, but it was a great time, a great luncheon. To go up there and be with those great coaches around the WPIL, and so I just say, you just take one day at a time. You know what? Enjoying what I'm doing. Retired from teaching. And, hopefully my health stays well and we can just keep going every year.
Listen, the other thing that I find fascinating, I've been at this game, as I mentioned, a long time, and I've seen a lot from Class 6A, 5A, 4A, from the legendary Parkway Conference to the MAC Conference. But you look at this Big Seven, going back to the Farrell Spiller days and the epic battles that you had with Clareton. I don't know if there's a tougher conference anywhere in the WPIL, year in and year out, than the one you competed. I mean, these teams, Fort Cherry and all these great teams, Union, really some stiff competition.
Well, it is. People, kind of downgrade A little bit in a sense, but the bottom line is this. There's a higher classification. Just got more players on the team, and they got maybe more, better, good players, because they have more kids. And so, Class A has always been good football. I mean, even though it's the lowest of the enrollments, it's really good football, and good teams and great coaches. And so, back in the day, we had Southside, and we had Farrell, and we had Monaca, and we had, Western Beaver. They were open, and so, throughout Class A and in the classification, there's 30 Class A teams. It has the most in any classification. So you got good teams out there and good competition.
You still love doing this, obviously, don't you?
Still there. When my wife asked me the other day, she goes, "You ready to go?" And I said, "Yeah, I think I am." And then a month later, I was like, "I think I still got a little energy in me." So, hey, 1 year at a time.
You have played for you and your brother, and Ryan as an assistant, and obviously Glenn Robert Lee. Rochester really had an incredible run.
They really have. I mean, we got complimented the other day by a former coach saying, "How do you do it every year just to get to the playoffs?" And a lot of programs drop. And with the small enrollment we have, we didn't think that would happen. But like I said, our blueprint's there. The kids buy into it. And they got a lot of great families and a lot of hardworking kids. So it definitely helps with us. And to see Baldwin do what they do, when you're sitting there and you're watching at home when the Kansas City Chiefs win the championship, or you hear a story like that. you get excited. The reason being is because we've been there and we know that excitement. So I sit there and get excited, like, I know that feeling. They're excited, those kids, and they deserve every minute of it. So, it's good to see things like that. Teams that haven't been there to be able to have success that they have, and hopefully it keeps happening.
Last thing, you really go the extra mile on this banquet. You realize it's the culmination of the season. The curtain comes down, and the curtain comes up already. Weightlifting, and it's time to start thinking about next year. But you really take time to look for a lot more at these banquets than just what they do on the field, especially being an educator for so many years. It's really very important on what they do in the classroom, and you honor that tonight.
We do the academic part of it, which I think is very important with it. And I think recognizing these kids and their honors and their achievements throughout the season is that's what it's all about. And, to have a banquet with 100-some people here, our quarterback club does a tremendous job with it, and it's a lot of fun, and the people seem to enjoy it because they keep coming back. So that's a good thing. And you honor another senior class, and you get ready for the following season.
Two people are going to honor tonight quickly, then we'll say goodbye and get ready to get going here. Mr. Sullivan, Mr. Sickett.
Yeah, John Sickett, who's been with us for many years, played at Rochester for 3 years. He was a statistician. He was part of coaching the little ones, and so he was on the quarterback club with one of the fathers. So he just passed away here in 23. It was a tough loss for us. And then, of course, Jack Sullivan being the announcer at the football games for 23 years. And he took over for Jody Frank, who was a legend. And so we're going to honor those two tonight. They're well-deserving. And we're going to miss Jack and the voice. But that's part of the night. That's what it's all about. And so it's a really tremendous night tonight.
Listen, no matter where I've been in my travels, and I've been all over, especially doing play-by-play for 20 years, whenever I got back to the Valley and the lights were on at Rochester, I knew everything was right with the world. So for Gene Matzuk, who's a dear friend and an incredible coach, it's your Pratt Pack. Honored to be here tonight at Jimmy Mag's, the club at Shadow Lakes. We're going to go to work. And then don't forget tomorrow morning, right after CBS Radio News at 5 a.m., another edition of your Sunday Pratt Pack. And, of course, those Coons Quality Food Sports Reports beginning at 5:15 a.m. and every half hour until 7:45 a.m. And we have a lot to get to tomorrow on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show as well. And that starts right after local news at 11. From the club at Shadow Lakes in Aliquippa, it's your Pratt Pack with Coach Gene Matzuk. Good night, everybody.